So I made this lino cut and then cut it out and then pressed it into a slab of clay and then laid the clay into just a small plate. And then I'm going to try to center this and trim the edge. And then I'm going to try using that as a bisqueware for a mold to cast porcelain slip into. And then, depending on how that works, I'm gonna glaze the inside of these deals and see how that looks. But for now, there we are. Gonna glaze this today, and I've got 12 different colors of glaze. It's low fire, and they're pretty vibrant, but I want to know what they all look like, and I should just make test tiles, but I might try to get all 12 onto this thing and hopefully make it not look ridiculous with so many different colors, but we'll see. And then, so I decided that this glass was too big of pieces. So I put it in this glove and got a hammer. I folded it over and like smashed it up, put some glasses on so I didn't get glass in my eye. The internet told me kind of no good information on what temperature the glass might melt at. I kind of knew that because you don't know unless you know all the different metals that are in the glass that it are fluxes in it and can change the melting point. But it said everything from like 900 to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. But I'm running like 1850 degrees for my glaze firing, so it should melt just fine. It's not that it's not going to melt, it's that it won't necessarily become fully liquid. It might just slump, so the shape of each little shard will stay somewhat as it is. Therefore, I gotta arrange them kind of in a mosaic into a pattern that looks good before I fire it. I can't just kind of like sprinkle some on there and hope it looks good, because it'll just be like sprinkled, junk all over it. I use a sponge, and I used in this time one of these little sponge brushes to remove the black glaze. Just get it wet, keep cleaning your sponge just enough to show the texture. And it's kind of almost the most important part as far as the glazing goes, the way I'm doing it. Just to make it expressive. This would have looked better on a lizard or something. Here it is with these little shards of glass positioned on it, and then the green is clear glaze. So the clear glaze should hold them in place while I'm putting in the kiln, and also should help adhere it and maybe even act as a flux to some degree to lower the melting point, at least at the surface of the glass. These larger pieces may be like a huge mistake as far as this thing goes, but I almost needed to put bigger pieces on just to see, because the little fractured pieces might not have any like luminosity, And I mean, truthfully, I think this whole thing might just be a bust. It might just turn out ugly. It might be like really cool on a turtle or something, but on this bird that's like so intricate and small, I don't know. But I didn't glaze this outer edge, and I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and fire it. And since it's firing to a low temperature or a low fire, this will stay like Bisqueware, and then I can glaze it later. Um, and then I might be able to glaze it more accurately. I might be able to like glaze this like a red or um, something that has a real high contrast. And then so for now, I guess I'll fire it. I don't even know if I'm gonna worry about um, getting those pieces to fully anneal in the kiln, like cooling the kiln down slow, just because I know I'm gonna fire this again. I'm gonna put the glaze on the outside of this around the bird, and it'll be a little easier to glaze because I can wipe it off the already glazed area where the bird is, and also it won't want to take glaze where it's already glazed, so the brush will just like go right up to the edge and pick up the glaze, hopefully, anyways. And yeah, maybe like a red against the blue will look cool. So I added some cobalt blue glaze to it also over the clear because I just didn't think it was going to look good. But it might make it hard to see exactly how the glass looks because it'll have blue, dark blue glaze with dark blue glass. And the glaze is basically, it should be this glaze right there. Kind of a little bit more opaque than I would have liked to use for that. But it kind of goes, if it doesn't look good before you fire it, it's not going to look good after you fire it. So I don't know. It might just be ridiculous. This might be garbage when I'm done, but we'll see. So I'm gonna get a peek of how this thing turned out in the kiln. It's at 160. I should probably wait till it's below, till it cools down a bit before I actually take it out or anything. But I think it's cool enough to at least look at it. Ooh, yeah, the glass did not flatten out completely, but it's interesting. See how dark it is? It'll get brighter once it cools down and air gets to it. So here it is, out of the kiln, and the little pieces of glass did not melt down flat like I was hoping that they would. They're almost still sharp even, but it all did fuse together pretty well, and it's not even cracking or anything. So I think that the glass normalized or annealed. But in order to get it to be nice and smooth, I think I'm gonna grind those down. I have a Dremel with diamond tips. I don't have it with me where I'm at right now, but I can either wait and do it with that, or I have an angle grinder with a speed control on it. If I go to the slowest setting, it might just be able to just touch the tops of these and take them down just a little. And then I was gonna fire this again to glaze this area anyways. So I think what I'm gonna do is do like, I was thinking of a red color, and I may still do that. But first I'm gonna grind these down smooth, not totally smooth, but down a little bit. Then I'm going to actually add just a little bit more glaze in all these areas, just brushed in, just because what happened here is I fired a little extra hot to try to melt the pieces of glass down, and because this low fire glaze the colors um, actually kind of diffused into um, each other and kind of faded. I believe that the actual colors are pre-fired in the low fire glaze, so the most vibrant that it would be is just right at the temperature that it all fuses together, like right at the lower end of um, cone '06, I guess, would be the most vibrant. And the black, of course, is a lot of metal oxide, so it retains its darkness. It does kind of look pretty good on as far as the black and how it faded in. Um, I don't know. I'm almost getting worn out on this one already, but we'll see it on the next firing how it looks. So I did grind it down. I did use the angle grinder. It was hard because it's like such a huge um, grind, 4.5 inch disc on this thing, you know, is a lot of area, and I was just trying to like touch just this little spot here and this little spot. So I did nick it right here. When I glaze it in, it might not show up too bad, and I nicked it there, but that's on the, it's not even glazed there. So I don't know, it might be fine, but at least this is ground down pretty close. Might have done better with the Dremel, but that's how it is. Okay, now I've got all kinds of different colors on it. Green down here, this like really vibrant red, then more green, then yellow, then orange, then yellow with orange kind of on it, and then orange again. Trying to do like kind of the grass and then a sunrise. And who knows? It kind of doesn't look like it's going to be super good, but we will see when it's done firing. I got a clear coat over this, or I'm going to clear coat over it a little bit just to give it a little more depth. And then that's about it. I might try one more, throwing one more blue on there. I got basically I call it cobalt blue, but it says mosaic blue, which is like a dark blue, and then this like Tahiti blue. And I'm just naming these colors so that I could remember for myself which glazes they were. And so this Wedgwood blue is the only one I haven't tried yet. So here's the clear coat. It went on kind of all uneven, and I think I put too much on anyways. I should have, I've got an automotive sprayer, and I should have like tried spraying it on. And I was even thinking about some of the other colors doing with that sprayer, but I just didn't want it to get all that stuff out and waste glaze and make a mess with it. So I tried just painting it on, but it's a little too soon to take it out, but I'm anxious, and I guess I don't care if it has little cracks in the glaze. And I did peek it at it, but here it is, and it's actually, it's doing that. The color's getting brighter as it cools. The red could have been, maybe without the clear on it, it would have been brighter. Or if it just had a thicker layer of red, I think it'd be brighter, but yeah, it's cool.